since I have anonymity, I will admit this right here and now. I am fundamentally not a good person. I have done a lot of bad things.
I once tried to actually kill my parents, and I feel so guilty about it, like for real.
That one day I feel so angry so much, and I hurt my mom.
I value truth, and again, I'm gonna go to the dark side because that is where my guilt is.
I think, for me, me talking to a hacker.
I have a disorder called selective mutism, and it's like, it's an anxiety disorder. Public situations, you physically can't speak even though you might want to. It's like you're paralyzed, not really paralyzed, but it's like
your mouth just won't do what your brain wants it to.
When I was a bit younger, I was experimenting with my orientation and everything like that, and I got my first boyfriend. This man made me feel like the sun was something he built in his tool shed every morning before I woke up, so I could wake up and look out the window and see it and realize that life was beautiful and was built for me. I had never had someone who cherished my thoughts and my wants and me. But the problem is I've always suffered from depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And I broke off our relationship in a very bad way, I have to say, because I didn't want him to deal with the pain and the suffering because I thought I wasn't going to stay alive. I didn't want to give him a dead boyfriend. That is my guilt. I wish I never left that man, but I will continue and learn to live and love and be content with myself.
I always feel like she hates me all the time. I start to grab a knife and try to hurt her by myself. But then I realized that she's actually loved me so much, but I did not feel that way. I did not know the truth that she loved me. The thing I did is the wrong I am. That's what I make me feel good all the time.
Let my friend suck my dick. It was not good. Yeah, we kind of drifted after that because it just made everything awkward. He was my best friend as well, so yeah, kind of sucks.
Question is, what's the worst thing? I mean, here's the thing with the question. There's nothing I regret there's nothing I've done that I regret because I don't really feel empathy. I have a neurological disorder that, I just don't feel sorry for anything that I do. It's like I do things and then I have to reflect on it and like, oh, okay, maybe that was not acceptable at that point in time. But basically, it's a branch of autism that is a rare variant, I guess, of Asperger's syndrome. And there's this part of your brain that deals with apathy and those core emotions, and I just straight up don't got it.
And I was in public one time, and there's this girl that, she kept trying to talk to me, and this happens a lot, actually.
It's funny.
I couldn't speak to her, and she thought I was, ignoring her. And I always feel guilty when that happens because I want to talk, but, I can't.
A few years back, I used to work as a youth leader. I worked with a bunch of teenagers. We'd, meet up once a week, have a good time. One of the kids, a teen girl, was kind of the life of the group. Everybody loved her. She was always bright and cheery, but I started catching, little hints here and there that there was some kind of dark stuff happening in her life.
Yeah, right now I actually be with her. I always love her. I always be with her. I always feel good for that what I have done, but in this time, I feel like I have to make it better. I don't think about the past, just think about the future, what I have to do about my mother.
I was feeling guilty that I supposed to do something right. But after that I realized I have to don't give a shit about stuff. So I started not give a shit. Now I'm happy. Russian culture very strict. You're supposed to behave right, dress right, and think right. But I decide this shit, I'm out. And now I'm really happy.
Let's say, my best mate. Let's call him Bob, for instance. Bob, if he died tomorrow, I couldn't give two shits. He's the type of guy where he's been through with me thick and thin. But if he were to die tomorrow, I could not care less. I understand that the social thing is that I'm supposed to feel sad, but I just don't.
Kind of could tell that she was dealing with depression and some dark thoughts. And one week, I thought that I should probably talk to her before things get too bad. But I kind of put out of it and said, I'll talk to her next week. Unfortunately, 3 days later, she committed suicide. And always had that thought of, if only I would have toughed it out and actually talked to her, maybe she would have made it if she had someone.
I randomly stopped talking to a friend of mine, someone who was pretty much always there for me and actually needed me to be there for them. But I don't know.
Here, man. Have this.
I made her drunk and we had sex. And after that, she wanted to have a relationship, but I don't want it because it was like an accident.
I guess it is ERP related. I have a friend, and there was this chick who he had like a crush on, and like he brought her around, but then like she wanted to hang out with me later, and like she was kind of like into me, and like I didn't know, but like we kind of did stuff. But then like she was like romantically into my friend, and it made her like all conflicted, and that kind of fucked up the relationship. Like she's not romantically interested in me, but I don't know. I turn her on, which is something my friend isn't really good at doing.
I never really have stuff that would make me feel guilty, because I'm kind of lonely, like really lonely, to the point where I just kind of stay in my room.
I'm not sure. I can't remember the last time I felt guilty for something.
I got a psychopath over here.
No, I just mean like I don't recall doing.
I all those people to see if I would feel guilty, but I just didn't. So like, I don't know, man. My biggest insecurity is that I just don't have empathy.
Humans to me are very fickle creatures. It's strange because I am a human and no other creature on Earth thinks that way, but I don't like spiders. And for me to say I hate them is, it's kind of like saying you hate flies. They're just there, Yeah, if they get your food, that's, it's whatever, but that's just what they are. They just doing what they're supposed to do. So there's a part of me that, I don't know, I'm just very indifferent.
I was just talking to people online, and some random guy sent me a site. So I clicked on it. It was just something random. Later, the person called me, and I picked it up. I didn't know that the person was a hacker before, but the guy, he told me that I was too young to be on Discord, and I was confused. He told me I had my address and my location, and I got scared. I didn't know what to do.
Would that be an insecurity if you didn't have empathy? Like, wouldn't you just not care?
I mean, I don't think so. Just because you can't feel like empathy for people doesn't mean you can't want to, right?
I guess, but that sounds more like a psychopath to me. I pretend to care.
I mean, I feel like it's like the very dramatized psychopath. It's like manipulating everyone. I feel like your average psychopath's just like a guy that doesn't get, or a person that doesn't get their emotions very well, but maybe they want to.
I think I am empathetic. Like, I work as a nurse, right? So I can't help but feel empathetic.
Yeah, but most people don't get into nursing if they don't want to help people, so...
Exactly. So
Makes
I
sense.
can't possibly be a psychopath, right?
Right, that's what you'd have us believe!
Yeah.
I'm on to you, nurse.
I guess the most unacceptable thing I've ever done was I had orchestrated a event in high school where there's this guy that was bothering me, and I knew that he had a record. He went to juvenile detention once or twice, and I decided that I didn't want him in my environment anymore, so I got him to fight me. I fought him, and I actually beat him in the fight. He left with 2 black eyes and a bloodied nose. I came off rather light, only had minor scrapes. At the end of the day, I didn't get hit with anything. I was able to go to school next day, no screens attached, because my record was clean at that point. He was sent to prison for assault.
Is it bad to say I don't think I've ever felt guilty about anything?
Well, I would say it wouldn't surprise me as long as you are truly content. As long as you're able to find peace and happiness where you are right now, then no, there shouldn't be any guilt.
And later, my parents, they came into the room, and I was still on the phone call with the hacker. I told my mom about what happened, and my mom, she tried to talk to the hacker. I don't really know what the hacker said to my mom, but they just said that I should be on there. Me and my parents had a talk, and I got grounded. So, no, the hacker didn't contact me anymore. But yeah, that scared me. I was so nervous when he told me my address and stuff.
Probably the one time I threw my friend off a roof. No, it was a joke though. Like, we were throwing each other off a roof of a pool, but like
in a pool, but like I threw him off and then I missed the pool.
I beat up my friend because he called me a pussy.
Why is that?
Because he was my friend.
Because I didn't mean for it to happen, but apparently I let a guy on.
I'm so guilty.
And that made me feel guilty because I didn't know that I was leading him on.
Damn, you're a heartbreaker, huh?
No.
I fart, man.
Probably your mom. Okay, sorry. Probably that one time. Oh God, I forgot everything that happened in my life. And you asked me that pretty much.
I say N-word and Langman. I don't like to harm someone.
Hey man, I check my thoughts, man. People like always say like, oh, it's just you can think about whatever you want, but it just matters what you do. It's like, nah, man. If you want to do something bad, then like you are that person. You know what I mean? It's your thoughts that matter, not like what you say and do.
My parents were assholes, and they didn't really give two shits about me. So I never had any toys or anything as a kid, and all the stuff I've ever had is either somebody gave to me or I bought myself. So I wanted a Game Boy really bad. So I took this kid's Game Boy and I put it in my lunchbox. But, yes, I felt bad about it. And I took the Game Boy out and I put it back. I did finally get a Game Boy at 20 years old.
Like you have the obvious stuff, like when you were a kid and you would tell on somebody and then you feel bad because you just told on your friend or something, but you felt like it was the right decision to make or something like that. But as far as like making me feel guilty, I haven't really done anything that I regret, so I don't have much guilt as far as like something major, but things that everybody has, like like I said, snitching on people.
What do you say?
That's not the greatest thing to do.
My father was cheated on by wife, my mother. She had an affair with him, which led to my conception. My father's family genes sort of manifest themselves in a very obvious way. So it was quite obvious by the age of 1 I was not his child. Though despite that, he continued to care for me, which I suppose is a testament to how I'm supposed to act. It's like there's this, I guess, impulsion you're supposed to feel, and you just do it. For me, I don't.
This kid at school, I didn't know I didn't know that he couldn't afford shoes. So I said his shoes are so ashy and that he they're so bad. You know what I'm talking about?
There was this furry person that kept following me around. I guess they really wanted to be my friend. They were like, "Hey Jayle, like I think you're a really cool person. Like, can we please be friends?" And I was getting very weirded out by that guy because I thought he was kind of creepy. And personally, for me, like I'm just not a big fan of furries. But he kept following me, and then I was like, yeah, let's go into this portal. I dropped a portal, and I was like, okay, let's go. And then what I did was I ran backwards, he ran to the portal, and then I unfriended him, I never saw him again.
It's basically, it is definitely really personal. It's basically about me falling in love with this girl. She had a boyfriend, and they've been dating for 1.5 years, and basically I got close. Like I knew her for over a year, and I got close to her just like recently, a few months back, and we'd talk and stuff, and it was just like really basic normal friendship stuff, and then things got more intense and serious, and like every time that happened I kind of felt guilty because like I don't want to ruin someone's relationship, and I knew how serious she was about him as well. And yeah, like that was every day. I would wake up, I would be tense, stressed, I would think about this. Going to sleep, I would think about it. It would just the only time I wouldn't think about it is when I was with her. And yeah, it lasted for a couple months, and I finally gathered the courage to tell her that we should stop it. She also started getting feelings from me. We confessed and everything. That was a pretty weird time in my life. And yeah, I felt kind of sad, going to sleep and just thinking that she's going back to her boyfriend. But then on the other hand, I kind of felt sad for the guy as well, that he doesn't deserve this, That's just wrong. That's just him trusting her. And yeah, she ended up also telling him about it because I thought he deserved an explanation, and she thought so as well. But yeah, they're still in a relationship, and I'm glad that things didn't fall apart for them. I really am. I don't want to ruin anyone's. They're in fact they're not officially engaged, I guess, but basically proposed. So yeah, that was really personal. But after I did that, I felt really good. Like every day, I stopped feeling guilty. I felt like this sort of stress, this sort of pot just got off me.
I cheated on my college final and didn't help my friend. I had the answers and everything, but I didn't give it to him. He was kind of being a dick to me that week, so I just didn't share.
It was always when I was never able to do what I knew was right, but I never could. I never had the strength or the courage.
I said to my grandma that for me she died in that day when she started being offensive to me. I told her that she doesn't exist for me anymore.
Slapping my mom.
I attempted to poison them, but it's not really worked as it should work, and yeah. But I feel really guilty about it as I think about it now, because I think it was like 2 years ago, and I don't know, I apologized and stuff, but I think that I don't gain that much trust in the 2 years now, and I personally never want to do it again, as I think about it as, like, if it worked, if I really poisoned my parents like this, I didn't knew what to do in that situation. I really don't know. Actually, they both got sick from it, and they asked me if I put something in their drinks, because they noticed I was getting like depressed and stuff, and they like can't talk to me. And I said, I was honest. I said, yes, I put something in your drinks. And they were like literally shocked about it. I mean, I can understand it. And yeah, they both went to the hospital, and yeah, nothing that bad happened. I mean, they're still alive. It's good that they're alive, and yeah. Oh my god, I don't know the English word for that because I'm German. Like, it's some chemical stuff that's actually liquid and stuff, and I put it in. That sounds so stupid. I put it in the coffee machine. And because they are so fucking coffee addicted. I don't know. But the thing is, like, before I tried it, I actually tried to kill myself like 5 times. I got into, I don't know what's in English, like the hospital for, yeah, kind of like this.
Just not being able to tell people how much I appreciate them because of how much they've done for me.
Playing this game for 4,000 hours.
I mean, is there anything to feel guilty about, really, when you think about it, huh? Well, like, play a lot of video games, you know, and I should be doing other stuff, and, you know, sometimes I feel guilty, but sometimes, you know, it is what it is, you know, and then you play some more video games, and you're pretty much having fun, so if you just have fun, you don't feel guilty, you know, and...
Telling my friends that her girlfriend was cheating on him, I guess, you know? Yes, but... She denies all of it.
I guess I used to lie to people to make myself look better to others.
Not spending enough time with my grandfather, and I've been trying to rectify that recently and spend more time with him, but that's something that plagued me for a while. Yes, I'm spending more time with him now because I want to be there for him in his, I guess, his final days.
Absolutely nothing. I have no regrets.
Damn, bro, your voice is really cool.
Thank you.
Left a girl for another girl, and I left her for a girl that was a piece of shit, and that other girl dumped me that I left her for, and I felt bad because I broke up with this girl for this other girl that wasn't as good as her.
When my friend of mine, really good friend, I really like him, have a girlfriend, and some shit happens that I slept with his girlfriend, so I think that's a thing. But we are still friends.
There's a lot of nasty things that I've done to people, said to people, how I treated people, and that's what makes me feel guilty today.
You can put this in the video. Subscribe to Life Progress. He seems cool.